Picture this, a developer sets up an AI agent to go check for updates every 30 minutes, just a simple little loop, and then he goes to bed. When he wakes up the next morning, there's a $6,000 bill waiting for him. And here's the thing, there was no bug, nobody hacked him. He used the tool exactly the way it's being sold to all of us right now, autonomously, overnight, completely hands off. And that's the part nobody on your timeline is bothering to tell you. Because right now, the whole AI internet is obsessed with one word: loops. So in this video, I want to walk you through what a loop actually is, whether you really need one, and then the uncomfortable question nobody's asking underneath all the hype: who's making money when your agent never sleeps? Let's start from the beginning. Most of us use AI the slow way. You type a request, you wait, you fix what it got wrong, and then you ask again. Every single step has to run through you. You're the engine here, and the AI is just a tool sitting in your hand, and the tool doesn't do anything on its own. A loop fixes that completely. Instead of walking the AI through every step yourself, you hand it the goal one time and let it run all the steps on its own. So, how does that actually work? Well, every loop runs the same basic cycle. First, it figures out what needs doing. Then, it makes a plan. Then, it goes and does the work. Then, and this is the important one, it checks its own results against the goal. And if it's not there yet, it takes what it just learned and goes around again. Now, here's the thing. Out of those 5 steps, really only 3 of them matter. And those 3 are exactly why people get loops wrong. The first one is verification, and honestly, that's the heart of the whole thing. If there's no real check on the result, like a test that passes or fails, or a number it has to hit, then you don't actually have a loop. What you've got is an AI nodding along and agreeing with itself over and over, because the model that did the work is a pretty terrible judge of its own work. The second one is memory. On every pass, the agent has to remember what it already tried. Otherwise, it'll just make the same mistake forever. And keep this one in the back of your mind, because this is exactly when things start getting expensive. And the third one is the stop condition. Think of it like a seatbelt, something as simple as stop when you succeed or give up after 8 tries. Leave that out, and what you've really got is a machine that can run all night long and get nothing done. Okay, so here's what those hype threads conveniently skip over. Most people don't actually need the heavy version of this. There's a pretty simple test the serious engineers use, and a loop is only worth building if all 4 of these things are true. Number 1, the task has to repeat at least weekly. If it's a one-off, the time you spend setting it all up never pays you back. Number 2, there has to be something that can automatically reject bad output, like a test or a build or some hard rule. Because if nothing's able to fail the work, the loop just spins in cycles. Number 3, the agent has to be able to do the whole job end to end, not hand half of it back to you. And number 4, done has to be objective, not a matter of taste. If quality comes down to a judgment call, honestly, a human still wins. So if you miss even one of those, just keep it as a normal prompt. And look, that's not me being lazy. That's the honest version of this whole topic. Loop engineering is real, but the people pushing it the hardest tend to be the same people who profit when you overbuild it, which is exactly why I'm making this video. So let's talk about the costs, because loops run on tokens, and tokens are money. And the real problem isn't that each step costs something, it's the way that the cost piles up on itself. Here's what's going on under the hood. Every time the loop goes around, the agent has to reread its entire context, the goal, the code, the last result, whatever just failed. And that whole pile gets sent back through the model again on every single pass, and it keeps growing each time. So a loop that runs 10 times doesn't cost you 10 prompts, it costs you 10 prompts that each keep getting bigger and bigger. I know all this sounds a bit abstract, so let me give you some actual receipts. Remember that $6,000 bill from the start of the video? That loop was waking up every 30 minutes with no real stop condition. And every single time it woke up, it rebuilt an 800,000 token conversation history from scratch, 48 times a day. The coding part was cheap. It was the loop itself that ran up the bill. Then there was the ultra code incident, where a runaway loop burned through 1.7 million tokens in a matter of minutes and produced nothing usable at all. No spending cap, no circuit breaker, no refund. And here's the number almost nobody bothers to check, and it's the one that matters the most. Cost per accepted change. Because if your loop hands you 10 results and you end up throwing 6 of them away, then you're doing the exact review work it was supposed to save you. And once you drop below about a 50% accept rate, the whole thing is costing you more than it's giving back. And the really sneaky part is that loops tend to fail quietly. Engineers actually have a name for it. They call it the Ralph Wiggum loop, where the agent decides it's finished way too early, quits on a half-done job, and then the loop just keeps right on running and spending money while producing nothing. It never crashes, it just bills you in total silence. So let me ask you the question that those thought leaders are never going to ask. Who actually benefits when your agent is running 24/7? Just think about it for a second. These tools bill you by the token, and there's a structural truth buried in all the cost analysis that I think is worth sitting with. A more useful agent costs you more, and that bill has no ceiling. The longer your agent runs, the more context it resends, the more sub-agents it spins up, and every bit of that is more revenue for the company that sold you the tool in the first place. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you this is some literal conspiracy, but I do think you should follow the incentives. The loudest voices telling you to never prompt again and just always be looping, they're riding on an engine where your token burn is literally their revenue. Run a whole fleet of agents while you sleep sounds like empowerment, and it also conveniently happens to be the single most profitable thing you could possibly do for an AI lab. So unless you've got your own infrastructure or you're running really cheap models, agents running round the clock aren't just sustainable for most people or most companies. So what should you actually do instead? Because you really don't need a loop quietly torching your budget all night. For most things, what you actually want is a skill. When people have actually benchmarked it, skill-based setups have cut token costs by somewhere between 14 and 17%. Now, I'm not going to go deep into how skills work in this video because honestly, that's a whole topic on its own. If you want to learn more about them, I've got a full video breaking it all down. It should be popping up on the screen right about now, and the link's down in the description too. So here's my honest take to wrap all this up. Loops aren't fake, and they're not a scam. They really are a genuine shift in who does the work, but they're not a personality, and they're definitely not free. And hey, if you're trying to figure out where loops or AI in general actually fits into your business, that's exactly the kind of thing I help companies with. I do AI consulting for businesses, and you can book a free AI audit session with me using the link down in the description below. Because at the end of the day, the people telling you to always be looping are not the ones who have to pay your AI bill. If you enjoyed watching this video, hit like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.